Hello viewers, welcome to UN Digital Class. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about first order logic. In my previous lecture, I have already discussed about propositional logic. In propositional logic, we have seen that how to represent a statement by using propositional logic. But in propositional logic, there we can only represent facts. We cannot represent the natural like statements or complex sentences because in propositional logic have less expressive power. Now look at some sentences like some humans are intelligent. Here this sentence cannot be represented by using propositional logic. Now look at another sentence. Suppose Sachin likes cricket. Now this sentence also cannot be represented by using propositional logic. So that we need a more powerful logic to represent these sentences. For representing these sentences or natural like statements, first order logic is used. First order logic is a powerful logic which represent natural language statements. Now look at the first order logic. First order logic is another way of knowledge representation in artificial intelligence. That means in artificial intelligence, our main aim is to create a knowledge-based agent. For creating a knowledge-based agent, we have to create the knowledge base. And that knowledge base always stores the information by using sentences. And here sentences are created by using the logic. For this reason, in artificial intelligence, we study about the propositional logic and first order logic. I have already discussed how to represent the sentence in knowledge base by using propositional logic. Now, here I am going to discuss how to represent sentences in knowledge base by using first order logic. So that first order logic is nothing but it is another way of knowledge representation in artificial intelligence. And it is an extension of propositional logic. That means the first order logic also follows all the rules of propositional logic and it has some new features so that it overcomes the limitations of propositional logic. First order logic is sufficient to represent all natural language statements. That means here it overcomes all the limitations of propositional logic. First order logic is also known as predicate logic or first order predicate logic. And this first order logic is a powerful language that develops information about the objects a more easy way and can also express the relationship between those objects. That means the first order logic not only takes the facts of the world, it also takes the objects and their relationship between the objects. First order logic does not only assume that the world contains facts like propositional logic, but also assumes that the world contains the things like object, relation and function. Which means in our propositional logic, the propositional logic always takes the fact from the world or environment, which value is either true or false. But the first order logic not only assume that the world or environment contains only facts, it assumes that the environment also contains objects and relationship between those objects and functions. Here objects are like A, B, people, number, color and others. And relations are unary relation or n-ary relation. Unary relations like red, round, is adjacent and others. N-ary relations such as the sister of, brother of, has color, comes between and others. Next, function. Functions are nothing but these are also relations, but which takes a input has single value. That means here functions are father of, best friend, third inning of, end of, and others. These are the things which the first order logic assume the world contains or the environment contains. As natural language, first order logic has two main parts. One is the syntax, another one is the semantics. Syntax is nothing but it is the set of rules. By using those rules, we can create the statement or sentence in our first order logic. Then semantics. Semantics is nothing but that is the meaning of a sentence. Next, syntax of first order logic. The syntax of first order logic determines which collection of symbols has a logical expression in first order logic. The basic syntactic element of first order logic are symbols. That means here the syntax of first order logic always consider the symbols, and the symbols are the basic element of our first order logic. Now look at the basic elements of our first order logic. These are constants like 1, 2, A, John, Mumbai, and others. Variables like X, Y, Z, A, B, and others. Then predicates. Predicates like brother, father, greater than, and others. Next, function like square root, left leg up, and others. Then next, connectives. Here the connectives are and, or, negation, implication, and biconditional. Then next, equality. And last one is the quantifier. Here quantifiers are for all and there exist. These are the basic elements of first order logic syntax. Because by using these elements we can create the sentence for our knowledge base. Then next, atomic sentence. Atomic sentences are the most basic sentence of first order logic. These sentences are formed from a predicate symbol followed by a parenthesis with a sequence of terms. That means here atomic sentence is nothing but these sentences are the basic sentences of our first order logic, and these sentences are created by taking a predicate and within the parenthesis or within the bracket we take the number of terms. Now look at the example. Here we can represent atomic sentence as predicate, then within the bracket term 1, term 2 up to term n. In example, Ravi and Ajay are brothers. When we represent this sentence by using the first order logic, then we can write it as brothers within the bracket Ravi, Ajay. Now look at this example. In this example, brothers is nothing but that is the predicate, and Ravi, Ajay both are the terms. Here the terms are nothing but these are the objects. Now look at the second example, that is Chinky is a cat, which can be represented cat within the bracket Chinky. That means here cat is the predicate and Chinky is the term. In this way we represent the atomic sentence in our first order logic. Here you have to remember that in first order logic, when you want to represent an atomic sentence, you have to consider the predicate, then the terms. After that, you represent your sentence by using the first order logic. Next, complex sentences. Complex sentences are nothing but these sentences are made from the atomic sentences by using the connectivity. That means in our complex sentence, we can take more than one atomic sentences and combine those atomic sentences by using some connectivities. Then we can create the complex sentence. Here, first order logic statements can be divided into two parts. First one is the subject, second one is the predicate. Subject is the main part of the statement. Predicate can be defined as a relation which binds two atoms together in a statement. That means in first order logic statement we have two main parts. One is the subject, another one is the predicate. And subject is nothing but that is the main part of our statement. And predicate can be represented by using the relations of two atomic sentence or two atoms. Now look at the example. In this example, consider the statement x is an integer. Here x is the first part of our statement, is an integer is another part of our statement. And x is nothing but that is the main part which is called as subject, and is an integer is the second part that is called the predicate. Next, quantifiers in first order logic. A quantifier is a language element which generates quantification, and quantification specifies the quantity of specimen in the universe of discourse. That means here quantifier is nothing but that is the element of our language which quantifies the number of objects in our world or environment. These are the symbols that permit to determine or identify the range and scope of the variable in the logical expression. There are two types of quantifier. One is the universal quantifier, another one is the extensional quantifier. That means in first order logic, we use two different types of quantifier. One is the universal quantifier, another one is the extensional quantifier. Here universal quantifier is used for the words like for all, everyone and everything. Whereas extensional quantifier used for the words like some or at least one. Which means in first order logic, if a sentence is like some human beings are intelligent, here the word some can be represented by using the extensional quantifier. In this way, we use the universal quantifier and extensional quantifier to represent our sentence by using the first order logic. Next, universal quantifier. Universal quantifier is a symbol of logical representation which specifies that the statement within its range is true for everything or every instance of a particular thing. Which means universal quantifier is nothing but it is a symbol which is basically used for to represent the sentence. That sentence must contain the words like everything, for all or everyone. In this case, we use the universal quantifier to represent for all, everything or everyone. That is the universal quantifier. The universal quantifier is represented by a symbol that is the inverted A. If x is a variable, then inverted AX is read as for all x, for each x, for every x. That is the universal quantifier symbol. Here, you must remember that universal quantifier is basically used for the sentence. Those sentences are contain the word like for all, everything or everybody or for each. Now take one example. In this example, all man drink coffee. Let a variable x which refer to man. So all x can be represented in universal of discourse as x1 drinks coffee and x2 drinks coffee, xn drinks coffee. Here x1, x2 up to xn and man, these are within the universe of discourse. And these are nothing but these are the objects. So in certain notation, we can written it as for all x, man x implies drink within the bracket x coffee. It will be read as there are all x where x is a man who drink coffee. Now look at this example. In this example, we are taking x is a variable and that variable represents all man. So that here we use the universal quantifier, that is for all x, man x. That implies drink x coffee. Here drink is nothing but that is the predicate and x is the object which represent man. and coffee is another object. In this way, we use the universal quantifier to represent our sentence. In universal quantifier, the most important thing is that here we use the implication symbol. Next, extensile quantifier. Extensile quantifier are the type of quantifiers which express that the statement within its scope is true for at least one instance of something. That means extensile quantifier is basically used to represent those sentences that contains the word like some or at least. If you want to represent a sentence by using the first order logic, then that sentence contains the word like some or at least, then in this case you use the extensile quantifier to represent the word that is some or at least. It is denoted by the logical operator, that is the inverted E. Here the symbol inverted E represent our extensile quantifier, and this extensile quantifier represents the word like some and at least. If x is a variable, then extensile quantifier will be inverted E x or inverted E within the bracket x, which can be read as there exists a x for some x for at least x, which means when we want to represent the word some at least one, then in this case we use the extensile quantifier. Now look at the example. Some boys are intelligent. In this statement or in this sentence there is a word some. That means to represent this sentence we have to use the extensile quantifier. Here x1 is intelligent and x2 is intelligent. In this way we are taking xn is intelligent, and x1, x2, xn are nothing but those are the objects of our universal discourse. Now we can write these things by using the shorthand notation, that is there exists x, boys x and intelligent x. Here x is a variable, and this statement can be read as there are some x where x is a boy who is intelligent. That means in extensile quantifier you have to remember that when we use this extensile quantifier to represent a sentence, you must use the AND operator or conjunction operator. Next, properties of quantifier. In universal quantifier, for all x for all y is similar to for all y for all x. Then in extensile quantifier, there exists x, there exists y is similar to there exists y, there exists x. Then next, there exists x for all y is not similar to for all y, there exists x. That means here when we are taking the same quantifier for two variables, then we can write this quantifier by replacing their position. But when we use two different quantifiers in one statement, then we cannot replace their position. Now take some example. How to represent a sentence by using our first order logic. Here the sentence is all birds fly. Now look at this sentence. In this sentence there is a word all. That means here you have to use the quantifier. That quantifier must be universal quantifier, because the all word can be represented by using only the universal quantifier. Now look at the sentence. Here all birds fly. That means here fly is the predicate. Here birds are the objects and fly is the predicate. Now you represent this sentence by using the first order logic, that is for all x bird x implies fly x. Here for all x that represents all birds and x is a variable which is basically used for birds. So that we can write it as for all x bird x. Then next all birds fly. That means we have to write for all x bird x implies fly x. Now look at another example. In this example the sentence is every man respects his parent. In this sentence the predicate is respect and the variables are x and y. Here x is nothing but that is man and y is parent. Now here we use the word every. That means from this word you understood that here we have to use the quantifier, that is the inversal quantifier. Now use the inversal quantifier and write the sentence. That is for all x man x implies respects x parent, which means here x is a variable which represents all men. Here respect is predicate which takes two objects or two terms, that is man and parent. In this way we use the inversal quantifier to represent the sentence. Now take another example. Some boys play cricket. Now look at this sentence. In this sentence there is a word that is some. That means here you have to use the extensal quantifier because the some word can be represented by using the extensal quantifier. Now again boys play cricket. Here play is the predicate. Boys and cricket, these two are the objects. Now represent this sentence by using your first order logic, which can be written as there exists x, boys x and play x cricket. Now look at this sentence. In this sentence x is a variable which represent object, that is boys. So that we can say that there exists x, boys x, which means some boys, and play within the bracket x cricket, which means it represents boys play cricket. That means by combining these two things, that is there exists x, boys x and play x cricket, which means some boys play cricket. Next, free and bound variables. First of all, free variable. A variable is said to be free variable in a formula if it occurs outside the scope of the quantifier. That means when a variable is used outside the quantifier, then we can call that variable as free variable. Now look at the example. In this example, for all x there exists y, p, x, y, z. Here x and y associated with the two different quantifiers, that is for all x and there exists y. But the z variable is not associated with any quantifier. So that z is a free variable. Next, bound variable. Bound variable is a variable which is associated with our quantifier. That means if you are writing for all x, then here x is a bound variable. These are all about the first order logic. First order logic is the most important factor in our artificial intelligence because this logic is used to represent the sentence in our knowledge base to create the knowledge based agent. If you have any doubt regarding this first order logic, then you can write me in comment. I will reply you and discuss about your doubt. Thank you for watching.